Hey there, everybody. It's Shannon from Bitcoin Bankers. Let me just fix that. Okay, it's been a little while since I've been here. And some of you may know I do some study, studying a master's degree, so I can sort of pop in and pop out. I have been away during this whole downturn in the market, so it's been a bit unfortunate for everyone that we've had to go through this. I didn't anticipate the maximum sort of pullback that it would that we'd be looking at. But we did Litecoin and things in my last channel, the last video. It's been a little while. I haven't seen them for a while, so I can't exactly remember what was said in that. However, I did sort of call a number of ones. If you have a look further back, I think I did say Bitcoin would come down to about the $7,000 mark. It could fall down to there, and that's sort of around where it came down to. And now we're in a position where it's all consolidating and starting to find its new feet. On the shorter term, but I just want to show you something today. I'm going to look at some longer term. Okay, now a lot of people look at long term, short term, all that sort of thing, and you've got to look at all of it. Okay, now I really want to sort of focus this channel just on looking at markets and stuff. I'll try to come in and out where I can, but if those who follow this, you're most likely doing a lot of your own analysis from what I've put up and some of the other links I've told you to have a look at and watch some videos, Silicone, that sort of thing. All those guys provide great information, so keep watching them. And if you go to Silicone's Steemit channel, he actually has a real good write-up on how to use the Elliott wave, Fibonacci, things like that, how to read things. So that's just one of a number of good resources. Another important thing to listen to, if you are new to the crypto world, don't listen to FUD, don't listen to all the FOMO stuff. There's a lot of talk. People are throwing all sorts of ideas out there. You can't stick to anything. Just do your own analysis and follow your gut. Learn to be instinctual, and it'll help you a lot more. This video does seem to be jumping a little bit. I do apologize for that. It's probably because I don't have the best video card in there. However, I do have a good sound card, and because I usually work in sound and things like that. Anyway, I want to go to the markets. Let's just jump over here because it'll hopefully won't be so jumpy. I'm looking at Litecoin, and I'm looking on the weekly chart. And like I said, I want to actually spend more time focusing on markets and movements in the crypto market, rather than just sort of complain about all those usual scammers out there who just never cease to stop with their bullshit. They constantly chop and change to try and excuse themselves all the time. But I think those of you who watch this, we are well aware of it, and we just keep yourself away from it. It's negative, so you don't need it. Okay, looking at Litecoin on a weekly chart. Okay, and I'll also show Bitcoin as well. We can basically see, if you want to look at Elliott wave, I'm going to get rid of all this shit. Okay, so we've got our support levels where things have moved to, where they've been going. And look, there has been some growth here, but nothing substantial. So I actually want to take our boom from this point, okay? And I'm going to be using these tools here. I'm going to use the impulse wave, Elliott impulse wave. And I wanted to show you, this is good news, guys. 1, and we're going to move down to here, 2. The next move is a 3. I'll adjust the screen, 4 and 5. I'll have to 5. Hang on, I'll readjust this. Okay, 5 sort of up here. All right. So we've basically seen, I think 3. We might have a bigger move in 3, probably a bigger move in 4, and a bigger move in 5. So this is kind of where we're up to. This is a weekly outlook. Okay, this is a weekly growth. Now everyone's saying Bitcoin's going to boom, Litecoin's going to boom. Rah, 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 rah. Well, you've got to understand why things go up, why things go down, why we're having a pullback. And essentially, the good news is we've only just done wave 1 and wave 2 on a long-term scale. Okay, so we got all this growth upwards to go. Yeah, and so I'll just say now, so it's out the way, I'm probably looking at, I think we're looking roughly around a $900 Litecoin, probably around August, something like that, just depending how things move. But I'm using what's called the Elliott wave here, and you should all be pretty familiar with Elliott wave and how it works. Okay, and essentially we have our first move up and our first move back, and you can use the Fibonacci to measure that. Okay, and you want to have a look at where is Fibonacci retracement? What you want to have a look at is the growth that I had over that period. Okay, now if we have a look here, it's gone up to one full cycle, and then it's retraced back. Okay, to just under the 618 into the 786 sort of area. So I had a really hard pullback here. Okay, a really big pullback, and it's probably because Litecoin went to 20,000 and came back down to about 7. So it's reflective of the other coins and the movements. Then the next move will be from our wave 2 to wave 3 and back to wave 4. Okay, so when that happens, now this one here is just speculative. I've just kind of drawn that out, you know, to see what it would look like. What happens is we're going to move that to the next one. Let's say this was our next move, right? Okay, so you can see that the wave 4 will most likely be a bit of a shorter wave from wave 2. Okay. Meets at about this range, right? Okay, wave 3 also is usually the longest, but never the shortest. That's another rule we can follow. Okay, so we can sort of guess that this is it makes up its retracement, and then extends out again. Okay, and then she sort of gets to that extent, and then it pulls back, and then it moves. When you come to measuring the full cycle of the wave, you have to get this, bring it right down to the first point, and right up to the top. Okay, and then it'll go into its ABC sort of retracement, and then go through a correction. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. So essentially, this is kind of the move, provided that there's no crazy FUD and people don't react, because this is technical analysis. It's about 70% sort of accurate, and then you have about 30% of influence from fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is all about the social goings on, whispers and rumors and all this kind of thing, as well as real news coming out from the creators of these cryptos and things, and that can influence a market. Okay, my main point of this, however, is just tell you guys that we've only just seen the first and second wave of this big move in crypto. Okay, this is just the birth stage. Okay, we have a lot more growth to come. We have a lot more in all the coins, and I can show you this in many others. Okay, let's go to Bitcoin. I'll show you the same thing, and I'm going to use the Bitcoin Phoenix. All right, and you can see actually I've already done this, but I'll put in a new one. Again, you can see, if we're looking at Bitcoin, let's shorten this up a little bit. Even looking at Bitcoin, right? We put in now, if you want to do it this way, we could go from here to here. That's 1, 2. I'm going to have to shrink this down, 3, 4, 5. I'll just do that so it's... Right, this is going to be a huge chart. I'll show you why people are predicting moves to the $100,000 mark, and a lot of people don't believe that, but it'll happen. Most likely happen. It just depends on FUD and how people react to the FUD. All right, we've got to stop overreacting. So I'm going to make this actually quite large. The way that it's kind of moving based on those angles and stuff. So we're looking at 2019. Late 2019, I mean, I think that's sort of more likely of where things are going to go. We could have a big sort of bullish run, because I think the next mark is around the 39,000 to 42,000 mark. I've said that before. We'll have a bit of a long pullback. It kind of moves like that. That's what we've seen here. And then another takeoff, so The thing is, like I've always said, wave 3 is usually the larger wave. Okay, and then that's kind of what we're looking at. So, that's a pretty big move there. That's 2019 into that sort of territory. And again, guys, this is just speculation on me just sort of drawing this out. This could be sharper, it could be quicker, but definitely looking at $40,000 Bitcoin by probably August, something like that, and beyond. So again, looking on the weekly chart at Bitcoin, at Litecoin, we're seeing these basically that we're just in the first and second wave here, guys. Now, wave 3 is, like I said, in Elliott, it's usually the longer wave of all of them. Okay, but never the shortest. Okay, there we go. So that's what we could be looking at, something like that for Bitcoin. Yeah, that's a pretty big movement. You can see all that. All right. If we go to, let's have a look at OMG. Let's have a look at OMG. Bitfinex, here we are. Again, you see the same thing on the weekly chart. All right. It's already starting to follow this kind of move. Now, I've put those ones in there. This is, because I've got the channel there, and we can see those sort of clear movements. But if I get rid of this, we could easily, just as easily, put this here. 1, 2, like that. 3, 4, 5, so on. Let's bring this down. Yeah. Yeah, this is actually moving pretty steep, this one. And we could have a tracement back to around here, around this mark, $28. And then, if she continues to sort of move steeply as more people move into the market, you might see something a bit more like this. It's all dependent on, how these market moves and how the market responds to the community's reactions and emotions and things like that, and how they may see a value, as well as the accomplishments of each company. Okay, so this here has been a longer line because it's sort of taken more time for things to settle in and people talk. But again, we're just in the first and second wave of this, guys, and we have started that third wave now. On each coin that I've shown you, we've started the third wave. I'll go back to Litecoin. See? We've started this third wave. We are essentially out of that correction phase if you look at it long term. It seems to be that we're out of that sort of bottom. We've hit the bottom, and now we're starting to work our way back up. Now, when you have a look at this, like I said, this is a whole week's worth of movement here, but it's generally positive, okay? A lot of people are looking at the daily, the hourly, things like that, and going, oh, is it going to move? Take a big step back, have a big look at this, and see where things are going, okay? We've just done wave 1, wave 2. We've got wave 3 to go, and this is going to be a big one. Wave 5 also can be quite large as well sometimes, So, and that's moving into 2019. So, essentially, I mean, in Litecoin, I'm seeing Litecoin sort of maybe $600 around, probably around April, if we're lucky. If everything goes well, we could be seeing that kind of rise. We've got some big announcements coming out in February, the end of this month. And then growth from there as well as everything moves up. The other thing we've got to watch out for is as Bitcoin goes up, people can jump out of other coins and ride the wave up. But there's a lot of hype around Litecoin at the moment. So, I mean, just on what I've drawn here over this time period, I mean, I'm seeing $1,000, $900 Litecoin sort of by August, roughly, maybe the end of the year. Could go higher, but, let's be conservative and say $900 Litecoin by August. Okay? Possible. It's possible. This is if all the essentials go to plan. Okay? So, let's have a look at EOS. These are all long-term, guys, by the way. This is the outlook for this year, sort of the next 6 months, okay? Again, there you see it is again. All right. Let's go from here. 1, 2, and there she goes. This is quite a steep. I'm just fixing that so we can bring it down here. Okay. Up to there. There, and beyond. Let's squash this down a bit. I can fit it all in. EOS could be looking at $40, by August. Okay, so that's a pretty big rise, man. However, you do notice in here on the weekly that it is kind of doing this strange consolidation. There's some uncertainty there. There's still plenty of range for it to start sort of having some growth and moving up. Remember, if it does move down, they do sort of start to move up and curl around like a snake. That retracement's there. So maybe 3 might go a bit higher. We put that about there. So that's kind of what we're looking at. That kind of movement. Okay, and again, it depends on what else happens in the market. What else happens? So the fundamental, your fundamental elements, which is all social stuff, business movements, business decisions, developments, FUD, FOMO, all these sorts of things can drastically influence the pattern. And if it breaks out of this pattern, then it just goes into a correction and it starts moving, and it just means that everything's delayed. So all in all, your outlook for let's look at NEO. I'll show you NEO. So the outlook for the cryptos is positive. Okay, it's generally positive. All right. Where would you start with this one? Where do you think you'd start? I think you'd start probably here. Yeah. Bam. To there. To there. Then up to there. Yeah. Pull back. And I've done it again. I'll just stick that there. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. So NEO's looking, pretty good. Could have 450 NEO by August. Possible. I'm not saying it is, but just possible, the way that things are moving. Remember, some of the rules on... actually, I'll just move this up a bit. I think that should be up a bit higher. Go learn your rules on Elliott Wave, where the first wave is a longer downward turn. Okay, the second wave will be shorter. Okay, second wave will be a shorter turn. All right, so this could be a 70% pullback. This might only be a 50% pullback, or 40% pullback, or 30%. So it's just the way that the rules of Elliott Wave work. Okay. So I'm kind of in this video giving you sort of some outlook and predictions on a number of coins here, while explaining to you that we are just in the early stages. We're about to hit wave 3. Wave 3 is a big wave. It's a good wave. There's a lot of growth, and I think we're going to see some interesting movements as long as everything goes well. Okay, and this is what I can't stress enough. So it can take all sorts of things to try and shake it, but these cryptos are pretty strong, and we just need to realize that we have moved out of, and I'm going to go back to this again. I'm going to show it again. We have moved out. So let me get rid of some of this stuff. Let's get rid of some of this. These are just some lines that I put in on a very short term sort of thing. As we can see, like I'm showing you, all right, I might maybe move that down a little bit more. Maybe that's a bit better. So we do have these moves. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. So we're only just getting started. We're about to go into wave 3, and this is a really powerful powerful wave. This is where she can really take off. Then it'll have a bit of an adjustment here. I'll probably pull that up just a little bit, probably to about there. Probably pull back to the $19,000 range. Okay, and then take off for the next bit. All right. Now this could happen a lot quicker. Maybe it's maybe a little bit more, 80,000, something like that. There we go. So look, a lot of people are talking about the 1388, and I looked 1388 up in the kind of Masonic elements, and I thought there was some interesting stuff there. You should look up 888 under the Masonic terms, and look up 13. You'll actually, strangely enough, in the Masons, you find nothing in there about 13. However, they put 13 in all their symbols and things. So anyway, that's a sidetrack. I won't go into that. So where would this 1388 be looking at? Well, there's 13.6, 14. So probably around this range. 13,400, 13. So maybe by mid-March, we might see that 13 1388, you know, maybe a little earlier if I actually just adjust that. 14, there's 13400, 139. Yeah, so maybe by around, you know, mid-March we might see that 13888 number that everyone's always talking about because of the crackpots. Yeah, but again, it's not that significant. It really doesn't mean a lot. It's just it's funny the Webrots brought it up because it's a real strong Masonic sort of series of numbers there. I have my suspicions on that, but I'm not going to go into that now. Anyway, like I said, let's just keep this about crypto. What other coin can we look at? What other coin can we look at? US Neo. We looked at. Did we look at OMG? I think we looked at OMG, didn't we, at the beginning? Let's go to OMG anyway. Okay, yeah, we did look at OMG. But again, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. And you can see in each one of these, we've moved away from the bottom. We're already on our way up. It's just that when you go to the daily, guys, it just looks different. Okay, look, the daily, you can see more of the movement. It's moving through these channels. It's moved out. It's come back into the channel, and it's still working in that range. Okay, we create support levels. All right, and she's starting to move on that. So you can see as you go down and up, if you can look at the hour, and I'll just refresh this. Yeah, there's that. She's still moving up, still climbing up. You have your Bollinger, and it's moving around there. So you'll see it start to come back down, and it's going to just keep curling, growing. Hopefully, curling, growing around that that trend, that upward trend there. Okay. So I mentioned Mana at the beginning, which is Decentraland coin. I held it for a little while. It did pretty well. I bought in about 11 cents. It went down just when everything else went down, and then it moved up. So I jumped out of it at about 13, 14 cents, and then it kind of moved around. But I think it's a pretty strong coin. I think Funfair might be a pretty strong coin as well. But this is let's have a look here. This is Mana. It's a Bitcoin. All right. If we go on the, let's go on a larger chart. Let's go to the day chart. There we are. There's Mana. Looking pretty good. I've just done a big sort of growth thing there. But as you can see, it's moved off. It's because of this big change that we've had here. Its growth has sort of been knocked off the wheel a bit, you know, and now we're kind of just, whoop, move that wrong way. Now we're kind of, I'm going to get rid of the Fibonacci here. Get this. Yeah, we're moving into that sort of pattern there. So he's moving along, and I think we might see a movement out of this correction here. It's just a matter of seeing where this goes. Maybe that's more appropriate. And yeah, guys, we just got to see where this is going to sort of move to in the future. You know, it's not easy sort of doing this technical analysis sometimes. However, the evidence is in front of your eyes about where we stand. I'll go back to the week again. Yeah, so there's your 5, and we're looking at it. It's, you know, it's coming down to tighten up, and might hopefully see a boom come out of there. But if I put on the this is on the weekly again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there it is. Let me just make this a different color for a minute. I can't see that one very well, can you? Let's make it blue. There it is again. Yeah. Okay, we're only in wave 1 and just coming out of wave 2, and we're starting to move up into our wave 3. So, look, that's good news, guys. That's all I really wanted to talk about today. Giving you a bit of a rundown. I just wanted to show you that, you know, this is what's going on. It's all good. Don't panic. Don't stress. We just got to wait for it to start breaking out. We are starting to see those movements, but I do understand it gets frustrating. Just try to hang in there and pick some good coin, hodl it, get yourself a wallet, put it in there. Yeah, we don't focus too much on day trading or anything like that. Just what I do though, each month I'm always looking for something different, and I might buy a little bit of this or buy a little bit of that. I have invested a little bit more in Litecoin. I still hold the same amount of Ethereum. What else do I have? I still have I still have my EOS, I have my OMG. I don't hold any Neo, but there'd certainly be something worth looking at very soon. What else? EOS. I don't have NEM anymore. I sold my NEM. I still have MadeSafe. I still have my Dogecoin. I still have Sia Coin. But I might look at maybe making some changes to those as well. I just want to see a bit of a move upwards. And then I might just reassess a few things. Maybe it's a good idea to do it now. I don't know. But at the moment, I still like to look back into that Decentraland. I might get a little bit of that later, and just see how we go from there. So it's just movements. Ripple. Yeah, I got about $50 worth of Ripple while they're sitting at $1. Just leave that there and see how it goes. So there's a couple of different ideas for you guys. But main thing is we've hit the bottom, and we're now actually, even though people don't really see it and realize it, we are actually moving upward. Okay, so it's just a matter of watching that start to grow and keeping an eye on that. That's everything for today. Bitcoin bankers, please like, please subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope it's been helpful and given you a bit of anchorage. I'll see you next time. I'm not sure when that'll be, but I've got a bit of a break, so I might come in a few days' time. We'll have a look again. Anyway, guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.